Hi friends, welcome to the Share, Invite, and Proclaim channel. My name is Judy. Next week on December 21st is the Winter Equinox, and scientists are telling us, they're calling it the Star of Bethlehem. And it's when the Earth and the Sun, the Earth, and Jupiter and Saturn all align. Well, this is really interesting because I'm glad when science finally catches up with the Bible, because during the time of Jesus in Roman times, astrologers from the East, from Persia, which we call the Magi or the wise men, saw in the sky this very same thing. They saw the sun and the earth and Jupiter and Saturn all in alignment. And many times royal people or wealthy people would hire these astrologers or astronomers, I think they're astrologers really, to do their horoscope so that they could find out about their life, maybe their life expectancy, or if anything dangerous might happen during their lifetime that they might be able to cover up or avoid. Speaking about horoscopes, they were not allowed to talk about them or share them with other people because it might show some weaknesses of theirs. Well, astrologers from Persia did see this alignment of the sun, the earth, Jupiter, and Saturn. And they knew then that a royal birth had occurred. And so that's why they left Persia for a 2,000-mile trip, taking with them gold, frankincense, and myrrh, special wealthy kind of gifts, and headed to Jerusalem, to Judea. Now, how would they know that it's Judea? Well, they used the zodiac, and in the zodiac, these alignment of planets and the sun were in Aries, and that's where Judea was. And so that's the reason why these wise men headed to Judea. When they reached Jerusalem, because they needed to know where this new king was going to be born, they met with the present king. His name was Herod, and let's read it, see what it says. Now, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king. So Jesus was born in the reign of Herod the king before he died, which might put it maybe 4 to 6 BC instead of AD. And that's because there's a difference in the calendars from the Julian to the Georgian. There's also no birth certificate. And so we had to go by indications in the Bible. And that would mean King Herod's reign ended. He died in 4 BC, so probably 6 BC. And again, it doesn't matter. I know that this troubled my granddaughter when she heard about it. Well, wait a minute. Is the Bible not true? I said, yeah, but you have to understand certain things of the Bible in order to get a clear picture of what's going on. Well, anyway, the Magi arrive in Jerusalem, and they go to Herod the king, and they say, "Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we saw his star in the east and have come to worship him." Now, when it says star in the east, it gets a little confusing because we know that they were going west. From Persia to Judea is west. How could they see the star in the east? Well, it's confusing if you don't know the Greek. In the Greek, star in the east means the morning star, or star above. So they saw this star, and they came to worship him. Now, isn't it interesting that wise men or magi from the east come to worship a Jewish king. And King Herod and all of the people in the religious realm didn't worship him. Why? Because they weren't looking for him like the Magi were, but they worship him. When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. He certainly was troubled because he was paranoid about people trying to take over his kingdom. I killed a couple of his sons, maybe his wife and mother. I mean, a bunch of people in his family. He was afraid was going to kill him and take over his kingdom. So he was troubled, and also the people in Jerusalem, because they knew that heads would roll. Gathering together all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired, this is King Herod, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. Now, King Herod had enough Jewish background to know that the Jews were looking for a Messiah. They, talking about the chief priests and the scribes, they said to him, in Bethlehem in Judea, for this is what has been written by the prophets. And you, Bethlehem, land of Judea, are by no means least among the leaders of Judea, for out of you shall come forth a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel. And this is in Micah. Then Herod secretly called the Magi and determined from them the exact time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search carefully for the child. And when you have found him, report to me so that I might too come to worship him. After hearing the king, they went their way, and the star which they had seen in the east, or the morning star, went on before them until it came and stood over the place where the child was. Now, this gets confusing for many people, especially scientists, because it says that the star went on before them and stood over the place where the child was. Well, what scientists now know is retrograde. And this is what happened. You had Jupiter in retrograde motion, in which it is trying to catch up to the spin of the Earth, because the Earth is closer to the sun. And what happens is that it will, as you see in the sky, Saturn and Jupiter will shine on the winter equinox as a bright star. And then because of the retrograde motion, it looks like then that the star stops. It's really not stopping, it's revolving, but in the sky it looks like that. And then it goes backward and then on through its normal rotation around the sun. And so this is basically what was happening during this time. And whoopsie. And we know that, Christians all along have believed this, didn't understand it, but believed it. And now science has finally caught up to what the Bible has said. So when the wise men saw the star, they rejoiced exceedingly with great joy. And after coming into the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they fell to the ground and worshipped him. Then, opening their treasures, they presented to him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. These were expensive gifts. And having been warned by God in a dream not to return to Herod, the Magi left for their own country by another way. Now, because I like geography, I have to sort of find out, well, how would that be? Well, I have a map of the Persian Empire. And so the most direct route, let's see, here is around the Susa area in Iraq, and they would go in this direction towards Nineveh. There was a old road in that direction, and they would come to Damascus and go down the road along the Jordan River to Jericho, and then up to Jerusalem, and then eventually to Bethlehem. Now, they probably, well, it says that they wanted to go back a different route. And so what they did probably would be to go from Bethlehem to Jericho and bypass Jerusalem, go to Jericho, up the Jordan River to Damascus, around to the Nineveh, the Tigris River, and down across the mountains and be in the area around Susa. Used to have a book that a man had gone to Iraq to try to find evidence of the travel and a little bit more about the Magi. I must have given it away or sold it or something when I had to move, but I can't find it. But it was an interesting thing. Well, I found information about the Star of Bethlehem from this book, The Star of Bethlehem, by Michael Molnar. It's called The Legacy of the Magi. Very cool book, and which it shows this retrograde of Jupiter. You know, we have a song that we sing sometimes, and it's called "We Three Kings of Orient Are." We three kings of Orient are. Now, we think it's three kings because they gave three gifts, but if you were a traveler all the way from Persia, 2,000 miles to Bethlehem or to Judea, there would be bandits along the way, and so they may have had a group of people with them to protect them. We don't know, but we're guessing that it was at least three. That these wise men, bearing gifts, we travel afar. Field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. And then the chorus, O star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Now, we don't typically know the other verses, but it says, born a king in Bethlehem plain, gold I bring to crown him again, king forever, ceasing never, over us all to reign. Frankincense to offer have I, incense owns a deity nigh. King forever, ceasing never, over us all to reign. Third verse, frankincense to offer have I. Oh, I read that one. Sorry, fourth verse. Myrrh is mine, its bitter perfume breathes a life of gathering gloom. Myrrh was something that they used for spicing bodies when they passed away. Sorrowing, sighing, bleeding, dying, sealed in the stone cold tomb. Glorious now behind him arise, King and God of sacrifice. Alleluia, alleluia, peals through the earth and skies. This was written by John Hopkins. John H. Hopkins, I'm not sure of the year. We don't sing that much anymore. But anyway, that's the famous song. I encourage you, if you see this in time, that you would go to, scientists tell us if you go into maybe away from the lights of a city as much as you can, and just at the evening, when night begins to fall, if you look to the southwest, you would be able to see these stars just with the naked eye. And if you watch on TV, they will, or on the internet, they will show you this event, and they'll call it the Star of Bethlehem. Well, think about the Bible and how glorious that situation was, that the King of the Jews, our Messiah, was born. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and have a great Christmas season. Thanks for watching.